Alrighty, good morning. If you watch the short and it looks a little different, it's because I realized that my microphone was so far away it couldn't pick up my audio. That is my bad. Moving it. Hopefully it doesn't make a lot of sound for you guys. We're going to be going through Wisdom of Solomon 13, and there's going to be a slight change in how the shorts work if you are a shorts watcher. Right here. And that is going to be, we're just going to record one part of the reading for the shorts now, and then the rest of the reading and commentary is going to be on the channel. Of course, everything will still be in the playlist. So I'm just going to do that moving forward. And that does mean for the playlist moving forward, we'll probably include the short for this one, but probably won't include the other shorts in the future since they're only a small part of it anyway. We're just going to see how that works out. And hopefully that'll make it an easier, smoother experience for the longer form video instead of having the awkward pauses. Often we'll just be able to keep going. And today we're going to do that with Wisdom of Solomon 13. The futility of false gods. For all men, while ignorant of God, were useless in their condition. So from the good things that are seen, they were unable to know him who exists. Nor did they know the craftsman by paying attention to his works. But they supposed that the gods who rule the world were either fire, or wind, or swift air, or the circle of the stars, or violent water, or the luminaries of heaven. If while delighting in their beauty, men assumed them to be gods, let them know how much better than these things is their Lord. For the creator of beauty created them. And if they were amazed at their power in working, let them understand from them how much more powerful than these is he who made them. For from the greatness and beauty of created things, the Creator is seen by analogy. Nevertheless, there is little reason for complaint against them. For perhaps they go astray while seeking God, and wish to find him. For as they live among his works, they examine them closely, and are persuaded by what they see, because the things they see are beautiful. However, they are not to be excused. For if they were able to know so much with their ability to investigate the world, how is it possible they did not quickly find the Lord of all these things? But they are miserable, and so are their hopes in dead things. Those who call gods the works of men's hands, gold, silver, and the practice of craftsmanship, and the likeness of animals, or a worthless stone of an ancient hand. But also, if some carpenter saws down an easily moved tree, and skillfully scrapes away all its bark, he then builds a useful vessel, beautifully made by his skill for the service of the living, and uses up the cast-off pieces of his trade to prepare his food and be filled. But a cast-off piece from among them, useful for nothing, that grew up with the tree, crooked and full of knots, he takes and carves with care in his leisure, and forms it with intelligent skill, and models it in the likeness of a man. Or he likens it to some worthless animal, and smears it with bright red paint, making its surface red, covering every blemish in it with paint. Then he makes a room fitting for it, and he puts it on a wall, and fastens it with iron nails, that it may not fall. He takes care of it, knowing that it cannot help itself, for it is an image that has need of help. When he prays about his possessions, his marriage, and his children, he is not ashamed to speak to a lifeless thing, and he appeals to a weak thing concerning his health. Concerning life, he prays to something dead. Concerning aid, he supplicates something ignorant. And concerning a journey, something that cannot take a step. Concerning means of livelihood, profit, and success with his hands, he requests bodily strength from something powerless with its hands. That is Wisdom of Solomon 13, a pretty scathing attack on idols. If you've gone through the Old Testament, a lot of that probably sounds quite familiar. And I also definitely, my brain went to Romans 8. How can they, if they can see the beauty in these things, how can they not see the beauty of God? Which is true. That's part of Paul's lessons in Romans, is that nature itself reveals God. But this was one of the constant attacks of the Jews when they encountered the pagans, was that their idols were useless. And we see that. One of the prophets' mockeries repeatedly in the Old Testament is mocking these useless idols that can't defend themselves. If they fall over, you have to pick them up. They can't. If they crack, you have to repair it. All these repeated attacks. And that is still the same criticism level today. I think that's really the highlight of this. And I think that's still a lesson some of us need today, even though our idols look a little different. Maybe we make idols out of celebrities. Maybe we make idols out of jobs. Maybe we make idols, literal idols. Some people still do that. But it's not just these useless objects we craft that can become an idol that doesn't do anything for us. There are plenty of people who make idols out of all sorts of nonsense. And that is something we in the church do need to be a lot more firm on. just to say something a lot of people probably won't like. If you're missing church to go to watch a football game from home, that football game is probably your idol, and you need to stop. That's just how it is. Church is far more important. That game you can watch later. It's still going to be there on the internet. It's not going anywhere. We in the church need to do a lot better job about highlighting what actually matters and what people need to be doing in their life. And part of that is following the commands God gave us to gather and to worship, to have fellowship and experience His means of grace. With that, you guys have a good day and God bless.